ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Planet Coaster. And this is the first non-livestream video I've done in a while, and first Planet Coaster video that I've also done since I went on my break for Comic-Con, and it kind of turned into an extended break because I rearranged my entire room the week that I was going to record, so I couldn't really record because I was moving everything around, and then I was just playing Splatoon because I love Splatoon. It's my favorite game right now, and I've just been putting like basically all my time into that. But I did get back into this to kind of get my groove back, I guess if you want to call it that. So, here's what I have done, and we'll get to what's behind me in a second. I have added a connecting path. Oh, I didn't realize that slopes down. I'll change that at some point. It just doesn't really make sense to have it go up and then down. But anyways, I am trying to turn this into a park. And I'm going to turn it into a park. But it's not going to be one park. It's going to be a series of parks. Like a series of small parks with hotels. So this is just going to be like one massive resort area, and there's probably going to be like hotels lining this corridor right here along this cliff face, and then I'll probably have that run all the way down to about there with stuff. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because of the way that I've kind of started building this park. It's weird, and I don't really know how I would connect them together using actual themes. And don't get me wrong, I still am going to use like themes on this. Like, I think for this area, I'm gonna give it kind of like a woodsy theme with a kind of Grand Californian-esque hotel. And keep in mind, I've never built a hotel in this game, and or really tall buildings in general. So that's all going to be done off screen because it's probably going to be more bad than good, but I'm sure that I'll get the hang of it at some point. So I added this path down here because I've decided that this ride and the ride that's over there need to be connected. So that you don't have to walk up and down the hill multiple times, which would suck. And I might even add a transport system just out of convenience because I would hate walking up and down this. Like, whenever I'm at Magic Mountain, I don't walk up the long, windy path to Samurai Summit. I either take the stairs or I take Orient Express. But that's neither here nor then. Here's this path that I added underneath this coaster, and originally my plan was just to have it, to have this whole thing like with foliage around it, but I really, really like this, this path that goes through here. It's really, really nice looking. You get some great interaction with the ride on multiple sides, multiple times. There's a bunch of crossovers. The only downside is that it did wipe out most of my supports. So what I might do is build them into the cliff face, because I don't plan on really messing with that. Or I'll just actually build them into the path, and then I'll use the barrel trick. If you guys don't know what the barrel trick is, I can show you really quick if I can find it. Oh yeah, it's the barrel planter. For some reason, guests won't walk through this, so you just put it down underneath wherever you don't want them to walk. So if I were to build a custom support, say here, I would put that there, and then they would walk around it. And I hope that they never ever patch that because I consider it more of a feature than a bug, because guests shouldn't really be able to walk into anything, and every single scenery object should have that. But anyways, this is the most recent coaster that I built. It was originally just going to start off as a Gravity Group Woodie, And because I did build one and I didn't like it, so I just deleted the whole thing because it just had bad pacing, and I kind of realized what you have to do with terrain coasters, which makes complete sense. And to be honest, I probably should have realized that in the first place. But you want to have the ride start in the low section and and then like go to the high section and then get back to the low section again, because otherwise it's just going to lose up all of its momentum when it gets down to the low section. Then it can't get back to the high section, and it just doesn't work. So the way that this one is it starts off in the low section, it has that, then eventually it gets into the high section, which is over here, and does a couple things, and it hits the mid-course, and then after that it's just entirely in the low section, so there's no real loss of speed because it completely makes up for it once it gets down to about here, and then it's like just a whole new ride again. It's basically like you're building two rides in one. Speaking of, I'm gonna do the Mobius coaster soon because I kind of know what I want to do with it. I just need to do a little bit more research, but probably next video will be the Mobius RMC coaster, which I will probably build and then save as a blueprint and then not actually keep here, because I don't think I'm gonna need it anywhere. There's only one place I could possibly put it, or where I want to put it, and that's right here. But I'm really down to build like this John Allen style wooden coaster, very much inspired by Racer at Kings Island, which I haven't been on, but looks like a good ride. And I'm also probably gonna make this a little bit taller because woodies lose their momentum fast. But anyways, let's get on to a POV of this. And we'll do we'll do two POVs. The first one I'm gonna go over everything, and we'll pause actually in the elements. So we want to sit here, and let's do front bumper. Alright, so this train is going to dispatch as soon as this one clears that element. I didn't plan for that, but it's just how it works. There we go. So, alright, we're gonna come into this turn. This part isn't really based off of anything. It's just kind of there. And then we go up into the lift hill, which goes kind of next to oh no, it's not in between. It's just underneath the Aero Hyper's pretzel element. It's some pretty nice views. If you look off to your left, there's a gigantic lake there. You can see the weird turn on the Aero Hyper. Oh, that's a bad looking texture. Let's never look at that again. I think this is about 160 feet tall or so, which is pretty tall. Anyways, down we go into the very steep drop to a double up. So this element right here, I actually based off of, I think it was one of the hills that's going to be on New Mean Streak. So I want to say that's what I based it off of. Yeah, I think that New Mean Streak has this element that's kind of similar to this, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But originally this was just one big parabolic hill, and I went like all the way up there, but it barely cleared it, and the excitement was not good at all. So I was like, I can make this work. So I kept this part, I shortened it quite a lot, like I chopped a lot off of it, and then I added the double up to make up for all the lost space. And yeah, let's get back on that train. Actually, you know what, just for fun, we'll go do the test results also, so you can see it's at 11.48 excitement right now. You're getting negative 1.13 Gs, which is basically just translates into ejector air time. Yeah, it tops out at 1.34, and if you're in the back row, I'm sure it would be even worse getting yanked down it. But anyways, here we go into a hard line. Still high excitement, then just into a generic hill that kind of leads into a, I guess it's kind of a double down. Oddly shaped. So this part right here, it's kind of trick tracky, and that's not intentional. That's just because I had to reprofile this thing like 1,000 times, and it kind of ended up weird. And again, negative 1.33 G, so again, lots and lots of ejector airtime on this thing. Into a lightning return. You kind of see that that's where I was still going for the Gravity Group style. And yeah, I had that lead into a 0G roll, which is kind of based off of Hades 360. I was still trying to go for the Gravity Group elements, which I think that the only inversions that they do are like 0Gs and kind of weird corkscrews. And I also have a weird corkscrew on this, but we'll get to that later. Alright, so back on this. 8.81 excitement, not the best, but considering it's an inversion, it's not bad. I'm thinking it's just because of the sustained speed. Here into a small airtime hill. This is purely based off of the Voyage and some of its airtime hills when it's right before the mid-course break, where it's very, very low to the ground, but still sustaining airtime. Into another Voyage. This double down, which you get negative 1.51, which might be the most airtime on this ride, but I don't think it is because I have some fucked up hills coming up after the mid-course. And we crawl pretty slowly in the mid-course, averaging at about 12 miles per hour. Then we head down into a drop, into this, and then whatever this thing is, into the wraparound thing, and this hill right here might have the most airtime on the entire ride. Let's find out. Yeah, you get negative 3.56. I may actually have to tone down this hill because even though it's just for a second, that force is just way more than you would ever want on a wooden coaster, or like on any roller coaster really, but especially one with a lap bar. Like, that is a lot of G-force. So I think what I'm going to do to fix that problem, and I'll have to redo the exit, is I'm actually going to level this out a little bit more, then have it flatten, then add a drop. And then it'll go back into that. So it's kind of going to be like 0G roll, then drop. Or like flatten, drop, then back into the overbank turn. Because I think that would end badly. I would, it's amazing, but that's way too many negative G's. It's not realistic. And my cat just pounced on my keyboard, so that's why you zoomed in. Alright. So now we go into a 0G overbank turn, which is just based off of basically every RMC. And this is kind of when I started giving it more of an RMC influence, and I realized that I kind of did that abruptly. But it works, trust me. Go into that, and that airtime hill where you get about negative 2.3, which is still quite a bit, but it's not as deadly as the negative 3. Into an outward banked hill. This is kind of based off of Outlaw Run. It has that one hill that everyone was like, what is it even doing there? How? And that's that one right there, so I had to keep that. Gets a negative 0.57, not a lot, just right here, there's this drop, not a lot of airtime again. There's this double up right here where you get negative 2.03. And with this turn right here, I wanted to do something where it kind of got a little bit closer to the terrain again, while still being elevated. So I added this right here. I think it uses the terrain pretty nicely. There's just this little ledge here, and I was like, huh, it'd be fun if I built that up. It was either that or do a tunnel, but I didn't want to do a tunnel, so we didn't. And, oops, forgot to turn the stats back on. Yeah, it's still at 10.4 excitement, which is crazy because it's just this thing where you get negative 0.89, it's a pretty good amount of air still. Now, at the end, I decided to get really, really low to the ground and really use the laterals and just small pops. So this end part is pretty cool. So right there, you get thrust out, and then there's this hill right there where you get a pretty good pop, and then into the brakes you're still getting airtime even in the brakes. So yeah, that's that. And now we'll just do the no commentary POV as soon as that train passes, which should be extremely soon. I can already... Oh no, that's the aero coaster. Bye! Yeah, that's that ride. I haven't thought of a name for it yet. If you think of a name for it, let me know in the comments. I am totally down to name it something that you guys think of, because I'm kind of at a loss. I don't want to go with the amalgamation names like I did with that. I'm probably going to actually rename it now that this is a real park. So yeah, that's that one. I really like it. Oh, excuse me. And you can see here I've kind of already started on building up the tree line around here. I do want to kind of block this off because there will be a hotel right here. And while this obviously is kind of a thrill seekers resort, I do want to have a little bit of a like sound barrier to like everything. Might actually have the hotel right along here, then out of wall. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, I redid the aero coaster also because it was not good. It was in fact bad. Now, what train is it on? It's on the left hill. This is good. So, speed this up. Gosh, this lift hill is way too long. It's realistic though. Arrows never have fast lift hills. Alright, down we go into that drop. And airtime hill. We might get a little bit of airtime on there. Not a lot though. so far this has all been the same, but it's about to change after this hill. So rather than planning to airtime hills, I now have it going into this brake section. This is more airtime hills. Just a series of airtime hills. It actually takes a really good speed down. That's it. So yeah, I hated how slow it got at the end, so I just fixed it by making it go really, really fast. That's a logical thing to do. If it's too slow, make it faster. And I did. And it was not difficult at all, just some very, very slight reprofiling, and that's all it needed. So that's slanted, but it's level. Oh, is the ground not flat? That's weird. This is trippy. Is this level? I don't know. No, okay, it's the terrain. Phew, I'm glad I'm not going crazy. So yeah, that is what I have done. There will be more coming soon. I don't know. I don't know when I'm actually going to start on building the hotel parts of this, and I kind of have to figure out how I want to separate each area and what I want to name each one. I need to decide what to keep. I'll tell you what I am keeping. This, which I redid, and I'm pretty sure that I showed that off in the live stream. But if I didn't, then oops, but I don't think that I missed anything. I'm working on adding this this waterfall right here. It's gonna cascade down all the way down here, and I might actually expand this whole area and maybe do something with the water right here, so that you get a little bit wet when you're on this. Not a lot, but you know, enough to be like, oh no, I got wet. But now I have to feel like, oh crap, I have to go change my clothes and everything's ruined. Oh, this is a Eurofighter. I am building it because Knots might get one and I wanted to see what would fit. And this is very, very unrealistic. They're not going to get anything like this one if they do get one. But I'm having fun building it, but that's for another time. If I even decide to keep it, I might just get rid of it. Right here I built a knot style entrance, but I'm not going to keep that because it's not going to be called Wave Rush. It's not. I made that name up because I liked it. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Sorry it was a short video. I will try to do a longer one next time or actually do a build. This was just to get my groove back, and to be honest, it helps. So hope none of you guys are mad at me for that. It was either I do this or you don't get anything. I don't know, until I got my groove back. And I did get my groove back. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.